May the peace of the Lord be with you all. Today's Gospel Reflection, August 22nd, 2025, Friday.
Once in the time of the judges there was a famine in the land. So a man from Bethlehem of Judah departed with his wife and 2 sons to reside on the plateau of Moab. Elimelech, the husband of Naomi, died, and she was left with her 2 sons, who married Moabite women, one named Orpah, the other Ruth. When they had lived there about 10 years, both Mahlon and Chilion died also, and the woman was left with neither her 2 sons nor her husband. She then made ready to go back from the plateau of Moab, because word reached her there that the Lord had visited his people and given them food. Orpah kissed her mother-in-law goodbye, but Ruth stayed with her. Naomi said, "See now, your sister-in-law has gone back to her people and her God. Go back after your sister-in-law." But Ruth said, "Do not ask me to abandon or forsake you. For wherever you go, I will go. Wherever you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God my God." Thus it was that Naomi returned, with the Moabite daughter-in-law, Ruth, who accompanied her back from the plateau of Moab. They arrived in Bethlehem at the beginning of the barley harvest. Responsorial Psalm. Praise the Lord, my soul. Blessed is he whose help is the God of Jacob, whose hope is in the Lord, his God, who made heaven and earth, the sea and all that is in them. Praise the Lord, my soul. The Lord keeps faith forever, secures justice for the oppressed, gives food to the hungry. The Lord sets captives free. Praise the Lord, my soul. The Lord gives sight to the blind. The Lord raises up those who were bowed down. The Lord loves the just. The Lord protects strangers. Praise the Lord, my soul. The fatherless and the widow he sustains, but the way of the wicked he thwarts. The Lord shall reign forever. Your God, O Zion, through all generations. Alleluia. Praise the Lord, my soul.
The Holy Gospel according to Matthew. When the Pharisees heard that Jesus had silenced the Sadducees, they gathered together, and one of them, a scholar of the law, tested him by asking, "Teacher, which commandment in the law is the greatest?" He said to him, "You shall love the Lord, your God, with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the greatest and the first commandment. The second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself." The whole law and the prophets depend on these 2 commandments. The Gospel of the Lower. Reflection. When we think of rules, laws, or commandments, our minds often go to restrictions and boundaries. Society thrives on them. Traffic rules keep order on the roads. School regulations maintain discipline, and workplace policies ensure productivity. But in the midst of all the laws and guidelines, Jesus pointed to something much greater, something that holds everything together: love. He simplified life's deepest purpose into one commandment that surpasses all others, and that is love for God and love for people. At first glance, love may sound too simple compared to the complexity of our world. Yet when you pause and think about it, love has the power to transform every corner of life. Imagine a world where love truly guides decisions. Nations would value peace over power. Communities would look after the poor and forgotten. Families would grow stronger in patience and kindness, and individuals would find fulfillment not in wealth or status, but in relationships and service. Take, for example, a hospital ward. A patient lies in bed, sick and alone. Rules can tell a nurse what medicines to give, what charts to fill out, and what protocols to follow. But it is love that makes the nurse pause, hold the patient's hand, and offer comfort beyond medicine. That act of love brings healing to the soul in ways that prescriptions never can. Or think of an elderly parent living alone. Out of duty, a child may send money or hire someone to check in, but when motivated by love, that same child will spend time. Listen to stories that have been told countless times and show that presence matters more than convenience. Love goes beyond responsibility. It creates connection. Even in conflicts, love changes everything. In workplaces, disagreements over projects or decisions are common. Without love, Those moments lead to bitterness and broken trust. With love, people learn to listen, compromise, and prioritize the good of the team over personal pride. Love teaches us that relationships are more valuable than winning an argument. This is why love is the greatest commandment, because without it, every other rule becomes cold and lifeless. Generosity without love turns into obligation. Service without love becomes self-promotion. Even prayer without love risks becoming empty words. Love gives meaning, spirit, and depth to every action we take. It is also the commandment that unites the vertical and horizontal dimensions of life. Loving God directs our hearts upward in worship, gratitude, and obedience. Loving people directs our hearts outward in compassion, kindness, and forgiveness. One cannot truly exist without the other. We cannot claim to love God while ignoring the needs of people around us. And we cannot love people rightly unless we see them through the lens of God's love. Consider modern life again. Social media connects millions of people, but it also magnifies division, criticism, and envy. Love is what softens our words, reminds us to celebrate others' victories, and stops us from tearing down strangers with careless comments. Love is what makes online interactions not just a performance, but a chance to lift others up. Even small acts reflect the greatness of this commandment. When someone lets another driver merge into traffic during rush hour, that's love in action. When a teenager chooses to help a struggling classmate instead of joining in mockery, that's love. When a business leader chooses fairness over exploitation, that's love shaping decisions. So why is love the greatest? Because it is the essence of God Himself and the foundation of all good things. It brings order to chaos, healing to brokenness, and hope to despair. Love is the one commandment that can never be outdated, never be replaced, and never fail to bear fruit. The challenge for us is not simply to admire this truth but to live it daily. Love requires patience when others test us, generosity when resources are tight, forgiveness when we are wronged, and humility when pride tempts us. It is not always easy, but it is always worth it. Let us choose love, not as a feeling that comes and goes, but as a decision we make in every interaction, every choice, every day. For in living with love, we reflect the very heart of God and fulfill the greatest commandment of all.